What is up? Here
Let's
we are.
go.
MLS Saturday night, baby. What else would you rather be doing? Nothing is the answer.
Correct. You know what I want to be doing today, guys? I want to be watching the Minnesota Loons take on the Houston Dynamo. Tasty stuff.
Spicy matchup.
We have social lives. We promise. We promise. But I'll tell you what, we prioritize this. Why? Why is it icy? Why do we prioritize this?
Because we care about the FOFs. We care about the football fans. We love MLS. We're here. We're doing our thing. MNUFC. Big game. Big night for them. Let's get it.
I'm going to go check
It's a
the
big
stream.
one.
I'm going to make the stream is working. The stream is not working.
Make sure we can watch the game
It.
itself to talk about it and hang out and watch it. Thanks, thanks everyone that's joined. We got a couple folks. The few, the proud, the FOFs right now is the motto. With three of us here, three others here, three of y'all here, which we appreciate. So feel free to sound off in the chat. You know, feel free to say how big of a Loons fan you are, how little of a Loons fan you are, any of the above.
It's a great night here in Minnesota. A little overcast, a little dark clouds. Check out the dark clouds fan section. Yeah, we got some nice rain this morning, so the pitch is going to be nice and fast. I think we're going to see some goals tonight.
Heck yeah. I didn't know their fan section was called the Dark Clouds. That's a cool name.
Oh yeah. And they're out. Oh man, I see the stadium right now. It's packed. Looking good.
Because of the dark clouds in Minnesota, strictly?
Strictly. We only have dark clouds here.
No, but is that for a real question? Like that's a thing? Is that why they're called the dark clouds?
I don't know where the name came. It just sounds intimidating and it's pretty badass. So
okay.
Yep.
It's just cool. You can get away with it because it's cool. I feel that.
Okay, win tonight moves Minnesota into 5th ahead of LAFC. That'll be big time.
Yeah, Minnesota's been on a roll. I know we're watching the stream. They've got the standings. I'm going to pull up the standings. There's only a couple of us here, so I'll wait a couple minutes. Game probably is starting in about 15 minutes. And we could talk a little MLS. We could talk origin stories if you want to talk about any of your first Minnesota United experiences, times you've been to games, things like that. Give us a little backstory. Help people feel a little emotion towards the Loons, who I assume everyone should be rooting for with us tonight.
Yeah, my fandom started moving from Madison, Wisconsin after college back to my hometown of Minneapolis and just finding a bunch of people that loved the game. The team's actually fairly new. I think this is our 4th or 5th season here, so people love it. And you had to find a group of people who were dedicated to
It's a great story. We're just talking to no one.
All right, tight.
Save it. I want to hear the rest. I'm curious how life changed after you moved from Madison. But let's see if we get anyone to join. We could just chit chat, just us, talk life plans, career changes.
Do I put my feet up?
Oh,
Just getting there.
My buds, dude. Honestly, all the people I know who are fans are at the game tonight.
Wow. We should get someone to join. If we could send someone the link, we could get them to join on video. Do you want to try that?
I sent the group chat the link, but
no, like not the YouTube link. If we send someone the Streamcast link, I wonder if they can join on their phone and we could have them video in just as a test, since there's one other person here.
Maybe, probably. Yeah, we could try it.
All right, let's try it. Here, send them how do you invite? Oh, you can invite. Here, if you click invite in the bottom and copy to the clipboard, see if you can invite someone. Welcome our follower, our FOF, our friend. We're here for you right now. So anything you need, anything you want, put it in the comments and we'll try to send it your way. Try to make you more comfortable.
Whoa, 3 followers now. Okay, now we're getting hot. Okay.
Oh, hey, big
let's keep this intense. What Minnesota, big game for Minnesota. They need to stay in the top of the league, which they're in. Hey, yeah. Kayla, whoa, huge comment here.
There we go. Hey, good first comment. Let's Icy, kick us off, being the resident Minnesota fan.
Game predictions. Okay. Well, I'm gonna see what that Winter guy was saying in the chat earlier. I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I think MNUFC is looking dominant, going to be dominant tonight. Coach is stronger. Hard for me I don't know the Houston coach, but I do know that the MNUFC coach has turned it around since the beginning of the season. He's a tough British fella, I want to say. Great accent, tough guy.
Adrian Heath.
Adrian Heath. Thank you.
He played for, just looking up some background on him, he actually played for Everton when they were pretty successful way back in the day. He's a 60-year-old man now, but way back in the day, he played for Everton, and they won 2 first division titles before it was called the Premier League and an FA Cup. So Adrian Heath is the real deal as a player.
Got some hardware. Yeah, real deal.
I think we all like Minnesota. We're all rooting for Minnesota, and we'd all predict that Minnesota will take home the dub because Houston has struggled. Let's pull up the standings. Let's pull up the MLS standings. We're about halfway through the MLS season, and we'll get to the other comments talking about Messi a bit. They're just showing the starting lineups for tonight. Reynoso, Finley, Ludd. Recognize most of the Minnesota guys. Dotson, Trapp, strong midfield.
Yeah, I would love for any Fops, anyone who's joined us, to tell us who we should be looking out for on the Houston side. A bit unfamiliar with their lineup here, but
yeah, Rodriguez. I remember Rodriguez from watching some of their initial games is pretty strong on the Houston side. I think he's been a weapon for them offensively, where they've struggled a bit. But similar to you, don't recognize most of the other players. I think Corey Baird up top, recognize his name on the Houston side. But we'll get back to those lineups and game predictions in a sec. Let's pull up the MLS table. Here we go.
Okay,
Conference standings. Yeah, go ahead.
I was to say their manager Tab Ramos is the Houston Dynamo coach. He's only the second season, so fairly new compared to Adrian Heath in his 5th season with the team. So a little bit dynamic.
He's been the technical director for a couple of clubs recently. Okay. I forget which, but he's been in soccer a long time, kind of a big name in soccer. And I think this is probably one of his first coaching ventures here with Houston. But we can see, let's go to the Western Conference where both of these teams reside. And Minnesota is sitting just above that playoff line in 6th, having a major turnaround from early on in the season where they struggled. They lost their first couple games, that's for sure. I remember all of us lamenting in the beginning. They were like 0-4, really struggling. But now they're sitting in 6th and looking to continue the climb, unbeaten in 5, whereas Houston is a bit further down in the table in 11th.
Yeah,
and they've struggled.
Yeah, they've really turned around. Like you said, first 4 games were losses, and now they only have 5 losses. So, in the past 12 games, they've lost once, which is huge. I would argue, without actually checking officially the stats, that we have had the best record in the MLS of the last 12 games. So, big turnaround. Good thing for Adrian Heath. I felt like he was on the chopping block earlier this season. And MNUFC off to a strong start right now. On the forefront, got a little free kick. Reynoso standing over it, ready to whip this in from the right side. I think I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, but I'll be sure to keep my excitement down if we do score.
You can do you. I think you're 2 to 3 seconds ahead of us based on one of your comments earlier. So nothing crazy.
Okay. Cool.
This time.
Ooh.
Good chance, though. Good effort off that free kick.
Yeah, it was nice.
Reynoso.
I'll tell you what, guys. I would love to be in that stadium right now. I would love to, one, not be in Houston's position in the table, but more importantly here, I would love to be in that crowd. Icy, have you been in a full packed stadium there at the what is the Target Field?
Allianz Field.
Nice.
Allianz Field. Yes, I have been to a match with it very crowded. So the nice thing about Allianz Field, it's about 20,000 capacity. So it's not a mega stadium. But it's quite nice where any seat is a good seat. You feel close to the pitch. You're right in the action, no matter where you're sitting, which is really nice as a fan. I went the season before COVID. Went to actually 2 or 3 matches, and it was just a blast. Every game's a blast. All the fans love the team. A lot of diehards. a lot of season ticket holders. So it's very fun. You guys, next time you come to Minnesota, we are going to a game. So it'll be a good time.
I mean, yeah, we owe you a trip. You came down earlier this summer and were part of our Euro stream, which was a ton of fun. We had a lot of international folk in the chat. I think we also have some international folk right now in the chat, if not mistaken. I'm trying to pronounce that. Is that Scoot? Is that Scout L?
Messy pronunciation.
Yeah, it got a little messy, didn't it?
Is that the Albanian flag below? No. Rahid, we're pronouncing that correctly. Welcome, everyone. We're talking MNUFC, Houston, MLS, Saturday night action. Yes, I'm wearing a Cubs shirt, unrelated to the game, but Icy is the one you should be focused on. Because look at that scarf. Look at that MNUFC scarf. Beautiful.
Scarf, little shirt action. You got the big loon on there. It's
Wow.
we're decked out. We're decked out tonight, boys.
That's
Boys
beautiful.
and girls and fops.
That's beautiful.
Because we all know FOFs are androgynous.
Love to
FOFs
see it.
Have no identity.
Love to see it. Throw your game predictions in the chat if you have them. Let us hear it, especially if you're big MLS fans. You're from Minnesota. You're from Houston. We're all rooting for Minnesota because of our good friend Max Winter, and we're also Midwesterners, so it's just by proximity.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, even if our Chicago Fire here in Chicago have struggled mightily.
Now, guys, I've got an urgent question for both of you early on in the game, and this one's out to the FOFs too. Jerseys. How are we feeling about them? You know, I get that we're fans of Minnesota in this game, but does that orange jersey call out to you? Are you feeling like, hey, that's a crispy looking jersey right now? I'm a little torn. I kind of like the idea of the orange, but I don't know if I can commit to it. I think the blue might look better with my eyes.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people are fans of football, love the Dutch orange. So orange is nice. Orange is kind of a nice color, especially around the world of football. I think the baby blue, though, does probably mix better with the wardrobe.
Nice. Nice.
And I'm also biased.
Call.
We can take a quick look at that orange kit that Jones is talking about, and you can see it here. If we just focus on the orange, does that complement him? Does that would that work well with Jones? Let us know in the chat. Do you think Jones could rock this Houston Dynamo kit, even if he's not a fan, just based on how it looks, how he looks? You can let us know.
We'll be putting a poll up on Twitter shortly to figure that out.
Whether he should buy the kit, yes or no. If yes, how many of them?
Exactly. And if you vote, I will buy you one. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
We follow through on our promises here in the chat. Sorry, you also have to get like 20 followers for us. Uh-oh.
That's all it takes. Yeah, if you could like the stream, if you're in here, you're down to hang out, or you're just here, you stumbled across us randomly. We're the Footy Fellas. We got a podcast. We do live streams. We like hanging out with the community, talking footy. Tonight we're watching MLS. We watch a lot of different types of games, but tonight we're watching MLS with all of you. So thanks everybody for joining. Like the stream, subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed already, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I've got some good content. The boys over there in Chicago, Eli and Jones, play in a rec league, and their team, Boots FC, Fighting Boots FC.
Boot and Boots.
What a squad. They are having a fantastic season. They're going to win the ship. And they are video documenting their games, how they turn out, how they go. And so it's a blast to see. Those are coming out almost weekly on the channel.
It's pretty much weekly. Love the shout out. Just shout out each other for projects that we're working on. That's definitely the way to do it.
You know what? Hey, big shout out to Max Winter. He was helping with some move stuff earlier today. Look, if you have children, if there's anything that they're supposed to do, it's that they help the family out when they need to move. So big shout out to Max Winter for just being a good human. Big shout out to Eli for manning this. He's the guy behind the keyboard here.
Man behind the curtain.
Pulling things, pulling strings. Ooh, looks like we lost a viewer or two. And
Shouldn't have shouted me out.
I'm going to take that back. Not shouting out Eli anymore. Eli, where are we going next?
Where are we going next? I'm going to pull up this Minnesota jersey. Now that we looked at the Houston kit. Ice, are you wearing this Minnesota kit right now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. No, this is just a regular old tee.
Okay, but we can see this Minnesota kit. We looked at the Houston kit. What would you guys rate that Houston kit?
I think I go the blue one. The blue one.
Oh, the light blue is nicer.
Female version.
I would say the.
Okay, well, it flies. All right, we'll go here.
The Houston one, I would give like a 5.5 out of 10, and I would give the MNUFC one a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
nice. Well, I would. So off the bat, I agree. I'm not against that. What do you have ratings?
No, I go 5 or 6 on Houston. I don't love the bright orange. I actually had a team where our colors were orange and blue, not exactly this blue, but that orange. Don't love the orange. I love this light blue.
Yeah.
The light blue kit is really sexy. I give this like an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow. It's hard to, the colors alone, you're bringing up a good point. Looking closely at them, they're professional jerseys. So they're nice. The quality is nice. I trust that if I had held that Minnesota jersey, I too would feel like I'd feel like a 10. You feel like a 10 in these jerseys. I guarantee that. I think if I'm wearing an all orange kit, that feels pretty nice. I do wonder what Houston's visuals aesthetic would look like if they were orange and white versus orange and like black. Because I think the orange and white is a good combo. It helps it get a little lighter. Otherwise, it gets real dark real quick.
It's a pretty hard tackle on Reynoso here in the middle.
Yeah, I was just looking. They showed a replay. You'll see it soon. It may not have been as painful as Reynoso is making it out to be, but I mean, early on, we're seeing some strong tackles from Houston. I think this is just an MLS staple of some good hard play. So
you kind of have to play more physical when you are lacking some of the talent, some of the loosely just flowing offensive ability, and you're in a rut. Houston hasn't won a game in, I think, 8 or 9. They haven't won a game, I was looking earlier, since May 20-something, like May 22nd. So they're on a string of maybe 9 or 10 games where they've either lost or drawn. A lot of draws. They're picking up some points, but that's just not good enough. And that's why they're sitting in 11th right now out of 13 in the Western Conference. So they have something to prove tonight. That'd be massive for Houston if they can pick up 3 points.
Yeah, wow. I did not realize how in big of a slump the Houston were. So now even more emphasis for MNUFC to come out and dominate tonight.
Yep. If you have an MLS team, if you're in the chat, you have an MLS team, let's hear what team you support, or even if there's a team where you're from, MLS or not, let's hear it. We can tell you whether we've heard of them. Which, if it's an MLS team, hopefully. If it's other teams, maybe not. But that's the game we're playing.
Yep.
So
okay. Ooh.
You share, we share. Okay. I'm going to start off. Hi, I'm Max.
Welcome, Max.
Thanks, guys. I am a footy fella, part of this crew. Again, if you are new to the stream right now, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, turn on notifications, get the ding, ding, ding. I am a big Manchester United fan, but more importantly, today I'm a Chicago Fire fan, which means by proxy I'm a Minnesota fan because go Midwestern teams. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with Eli, who I appreciate. And hey, he's been doing a great job today helping lead the stream. And big shout out to
you're going to be careful. We're going to lose some followers.
We're going to lose a lot.
Careful what you say about me.
I apologize. And big shout out to Icy, who, hey, you know what? He helped. He's a mover. He's a shaker. He's a moneymaker. So yeah, Chicago Fire is who I support.
I want to get your friend on the stream, your friend at the game. See, maybe at halftime we can get some live in stadium StreamYard.
I as I was sending the link to actually myself to then pass it on. It did say in the text that you need a laptop or a
stable Wi-Fi.
I don't know if a mobile will work.
Got a chance here for Minnesota in the 12th minute. Ooh. Blazes it over. Reynoso's just such at the heart of what they do. Him sitting in that that pivot role. What is it? The 9, kind of sitting underneath the 2 strikers. He's behind all their attacks, and he is that good. Like, there were shouts. I think even Eli Lesser in This Week on MLS said he could be MVP this year. Before the season, he was one of the players he predicted could be MVP. Reynoso.
Yeah.
But that's he's been great. He's been great for Minnesota. It looks packed tonight also. Tons of fans. Everyone's got
so colors. As Jonesy threw in our chat the other day of around the MLS, around the league, stadium attendance, we're number 9. So we're repping a solid 19,500 people a game, which is huge. And I'm not even surprised because that's almost full capacity for our stadium. And the people love MNUFC. I mean, it's a good time. We saw Maddie and I were driving around, stopped at a local brewery, not too far away from our house. And it's on the light rail line to the stadium. We saw a massive group of 30 people, grabbing a beer and heading out to the game. It's just a good time. Lots of people. They love it.
That's what, I think soccer stadiums in the U.S. are, they're becoming, almost the what's in vogue, building a soccer specific stadium. And with that come communities that fit. You're not building the biggest stadium with the largest complex. You have it built near a neighborhood or in and around convenient social spaces. So very, very exciting to have.
Yeah. And also, on top of that, it also brings opportunity, brings people to areas that may not be, that were not a destination beforehand. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of new development around there too. So it's good things all around.
So. Love the smaller soccer stadiums just because the feel is different. And I think that's something unique. Oh, another chance here for Minnesota. A couple minutes later. They are pushing most of the pace.
Okay, let's get it, boys.
Another chance.
Let's go.
Deflection while you are ahead of us. Let's see.
Let's go.
Oh my God! Spill from the keep and a goal. Robin Lod,
dude,
for Minnesota. Cover your ears, because that was a golazo. Yeah, go ahead, Ice. Before I smash the golazo.
That ball must have been moving for the goalie to drop that. I have to say.
Golazo! Golazo!
That was a firecracker.
Early goal for Minnesota, and they've been doing the attacking. You could say they deserve it, but that's a tough one for the keeper to give up. That's for sure.
Oh man, Robin Lod, dude, he's been on fire. I think honestly, this is his 4th or 5th game in a row scoring. He's got to have. We can do a quick check. He's got to have 6 for the season at least. He's been on fire.
Ball didn't move.
That's just you. That's one you can't drop as a goalkeeper. Right?
The ball didn't move. It didn't move. What? I think a defender was also blocking his view potentially.
It looked like it hit him in the gut, and the ball. It didn't look like it was spinning. We need another reverse angle. It looked like that ball was just coming right into his bread basket.
Jones, lay off this goalie, dude.
I'm just thinking if Houston wants to go anywhere in this league, all right, they're gonna need to make some simple saves.
All right,
but hey, nothing simple when you're playing Minnesota. Am I right?
Nothing simple, dude. Okay, good. I like to say that I was pretty spot on. That was his 6th goal of the season.
Yeah, you called that. So you hadn't seen the stat yet. You guessed 6th. Then it came up on the screen is what you're trying to say to us.
Oh, if it did just show up on the screen, then yes.
Okay, sure. He's playing it cool. But either way, we'll give you credit.
Hey, guys, you know what's really impressive? Something that blew my mind a couple seconds ago. And I think if you, the listener, are here, this is really going to astound you. Robin Lod, okay, the guy who just scored, he has 6 goals this year, 6 more than any of us have scored this year in the MLS. 6 more.
Speak for yourself, dude.
He's just been playing on the side.
I've got a hat trick. Dude. I texted you guys the other day. I got a hattie in my last game.
Yes. Okay.
Is playing for Minnesota United though?
Well, he plays in the MLS. What is it? The Midwestern
Maple Leafs.
No, it's right. It's the Midwestern leopards, leopard seals. Yeah, the Midwestern leopard seals. It's a great league.
Extremely new team. Very, very, very new team. Another chance for Minnesota playing a little give and go. Oh, Minnesota just looks good attacking. Dude, they look like they've been on an unbeaten streak.
So was this Robin Lod that took the shot again? Yes. So Robin Lod will probably end up taking like 6 shots that will be decent, and he'll probably put 1, maybe 2 in. That's just how it goes.
So he's big on the hockey stats. Like he'll get on the score sheet for just a bunch of chances,
right,
and maybe he puts 1 in.
He very much is got the hockey stats.
I just love the fans. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I mean, shout out Robin Lod. We saw him in the Euros, so that's fun. It's fun to have MLS players represent their nations in the Euros. I think it brings more credibility to the MLS, and he played for the Finnish squad and they did pretty well. I don't think they advanced out of the group play, but very cool to see him.
That is very cool. 1-0 Minnesota in the 18th minute, early goal from Robin Lod, like we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm going to pull up, we were just talking attendance, stadium attendance, but I just love that everyone behind the goal, not just like a mini supporter section, it's that entire wall of the stadium, all had their scarves up, swinging them around, going crazy just for a corner kick, which is pretty sweet. And they've got another free kick here that you've probably seen already, Ice. But yeah, good defending there from Houston. I'm going to pull up the attendance so far this year because we were just talking about what the atmosphere is here, which teams are building new stadiums, what types of stadiums. Let's just look at the top 9 teams in terms of attendance. And it is some of those bigger stadiums, but you also need a passionate fan base. You need to be in an area in the U.S. that cares about soccer. So we've got Atlanta United, the team that won the MLS Cup 3 years ago at this point, including the pandemic. There's such a huge gap between them and anyone else in terms of average stadium attendance. They've got about 46,000 people that's going to every game, which is nuts. Just passionate.
That's really cool. I think all these numbers are going to rise as we keep going, as the years go on.
Yeah, and this is still since returning to full capacity this year. So I'm sure there are plenty of folks with good reason that don't feel comfortable going back to the stadium just yet and might otherwise be attending games. So that in addition to just the MLS growing. You got Seattle in second, FC Cincinnati, who just built this massive, beautiful new stadium that's hosting the USA-Mexico World Cup qualifier in November of this year in Cincinnati. And they've gotten, even though they're not that great of a team, they've gotten a ton of fans to their games. The Portland Timbers, who are a very good team, and that's been known to be like a soccer hub, men and women's teams with the Thorns. LAFC, Nashville, Austin, MNUFC sitting right here in 8th. So it's no joke in Minnesota at Allianz, and Columbus right there in 9th. So
yeah, I think the one thing I noticed right away is that, I mean, you could argue not all these, a fair amount of these top 9 are not small market teams or small market areas, but I would say Cincinnati, Portland, Nashville, Austin, Minnesota. They're not super big markets, so I think it's that bodes well for expansion maybe in the future across the nation. And I think Footy Fellas totally endorses a relegation promotion type setup for MLS. So if we can get more cities across the country to get teams, then that just makes it more of an argument to get the relegation promotion system going.
It's very true. I'm just curious to see where the Fire are. If we scroll down, that was 1 out of 3, not in the next 9. They're in the last 9 and very close to the bottom, right above the NAs. So they could even be further down. There just haven't been any fans in Canada so far this year because of COVID. So they're straight up last out of countable teams at Soldier Field. How do you feel about that, Max?
I feel like they should throw an asterisk on it and just say it's incomplete data. Just say
for the Fire.
Just can't. We couldn't count it. We would count it, but we can't, unfortunately. So we won't report on how low we are, or it's just literally that low that stat sig. Like we can't actually confirm. This isn't a statistically significant amount of input. So
do aliens count? We've been pulling in like 4,000 to 5,000 aliens a game.
Does it count if you walked, like, what are we saying, in the stadium, or are we talking like people who were near the stadium at the time? Because Chicago play downtown and there's a lot of traffic on Lakeshore Drive that goes right by. So if we pulled in that traffic, I mean, you're looking cool, a couple 100,000, I think, at some point maybe.
That's tough for the Fire, and the stadium's so big that it feels really empty.
Yeah, we got a couple quick yellow cards for Houston actually just now. Looks like they're getting a bit frustrated on the defensive end. MNUFC is just kind of working them at the moment, but we'll see if the tide turns at all. But yeah, so far so good for MNUFC. But shout out back to the Fire game. When I was in town, the first night back for everyone. That was a lot of people. I would say more than that 10,100 number. That was a good turnout.
It was a great amount. It was exciting. They probably weren't counting people in the stadium that game. That's why it's not showing up. because that would bump the average way up.
Yeah,
because that was at least 70,000, I think.
That's the problem. They had 70,000, and then 0 people have come to the next 6 games.
Right.
So the average is down
It's
to
just
10.
plummet right after that.
That's a bummer.
You know what they're probably doing with those attendance numbers? Hey, and if you're new to the stream, we were just talking attendances in the MLS.
Yeah. Add them back. We're looking at the Fire's attendance being 4th from last. Chicago Fire. We're watching the MNUFC game, but they're up 1-0 and they're dominating. So we're just looking at attendances across the league.
And my comment here is what I imagine happens, and something they should probably put a footnote in, is the Fire average that they're pulling in is probably, yes, they're taking into account home games, but I imagine they're also counting attendance in the stadium on our away games. So like when no one's at the stadium, they're probably counting that as like a fat goose egg. And what they need is just someone to come in and go, like, sift through that data, look at the days that they're pulling that attendance. It could be very well that they are pulling attendance for the entire time of the season, where
just every day that
exactly
is since the season started.
6 days a week where there's just no one in the stadium, and that's going to pull the average way down. So we're
that was very Jordan Belfort of
so
you.
we're probably looking like close to 90K per game. But
90K.
It's a chance there for Houston getting a chance back in it, and that's the game we're watching with MNUFC all the way up in 8th on that attendance ranking, 20,000 people. It's a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere at the game right now that we're watching, and a great atmosphere here on the stream.
Yes,
that you're going to want to like, subscribe to the channel, hang out, watch the game with us, and tell us in the chat. We haven't had the chat's been a little slow tonight,
a little quiet,
a little bit of Saturday slowness,
a little quiet.
So let us know in the chat where you're watching from, what team you support. If you're happy that Minnesota scored first, because Icy is. He's certainly happy.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're stoked.
Would you go? Are you trying to go? I know you have friends at the game tonight. Would you try to go to a game later on in the season if especially if they make the playoffs? Would that be appealing to you?
Yes, absolutely. I actually was just going to say that, granted that we get 19,000, about 500 people per game, it's also fun that I just heard of someone last night. They sometimes do these fire sales. They got tickets for a single $1.
Wow.
$1. So, it's it's fun stuff like that where, they make it accessible for fans, which is huge. I think that there's some soccer stadiums and clubs that kind of keep it out of reach. So
totally.
So it was really cool to hear that. And shoot, if I can get a dollar ticket, I'm in. So
yeah, that's massive. I feel like MLS prices are relative on the lower side compared to other sports in the U.S. right now because
for sure, yeah.
Even though they're getting more and more popular, they're still trying to fill out seats like we were just looking at. So pretty much everywhere you should be able to get cheap MLS tickets if you have a team you're looking to support.
Yeah, and I would also argue that
speaking of support,
this club is getting. This club is getting a good amount of revenue from merchandise sales. So I wonder if they just offset their merch sales by cheaper tickets, which is cool.
Shout out to Tamara and CT Connecticut, hanging on the couch, watching the game with us. Love that. Love to hear that.
Thanks, Tamara. Tamara, big question back to you. If you have a moment, what team are you supporting? And why? Why are you a big fan of them? And if you have a moment, could you break down the formation for me? Thank you.
Max is looking for some help with the live stream.
I don't know how this works.
We're looking for.
I don't know.
I want to bring up. We're 25 minutes into the first half. Minnesota is up 1-0. We're looking for a lean either way. If you're a Minnesota fan, Dynamo fan, you can let us know if you're happy they're up 1-0 in the comments. I'm gonna pull up the MLS All-Star roster. Actually, let's look at the league leaders first. Let's look at some league leaders and talk about who's been bossing the league so far this season. So there might be a Minnesota player on here. There might just be a Minnesota player on here somewhere. Or there might not. I thought there was, but I don't think there is now. But in terms of goals.
So he's right second.
Is he there?
He's in second.
Where is he? Oh,
right
key
there.
passes. There he is. That's more important than anything. Key passes.
Right.
So you'll notice a trend, a little bit of sport, a little bit of Seattle, and a little bit of New England. sprinkled across these because they're the leaders in the. Actually, Seattle just got overtaken in the Western Conference, but in the Eastern Conference
by Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City had a huge result, 4-1 away at LAFC or Galaxy. I forget, one of those LA teams.
Wow, that's massive.
Yeah,
that's massive. Yeah, but Roy Diaz been crushing it since day one. I remember all of us talking about him in the beginning, crushing it for Seattle, and both Boo, who I'm probably pronouncing wrong, and Carlos Gil on New England, linking up together. Boo with 10 goals and Gil with an insane amount of assists, 15 assists through their first 17 games is just nuts.
Wow. Yeah, the Revolution, man, I feel like they always show up in the regular season, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But
ooh, okay. You don't believe in them fully yet.
It's kind of like the Milwaukee Bucks before this season when they won it all. they would dominate regular season play, and come playoffs, they'd lose. So
that's a good analogy.
Maybe this year's the year of New England and the Bucks. Got
to give a shout out to Nashville though. Our boy Joe Willis with the 8 clean sheets, leading the league, and their defense, Studley defense. Walker Zimmerman, friend of the pod, friend of Footy Fellas, Dan Lovitz in there. Mukhtar in the middle. They've been great. They've vaulted themselves into second or third in the Eastern Conference, which is pretty extraordinary for how new of a team they are.
Yeah, they're looking really good.
Oh yeah. But these are just some of the league leaders, just a spice of life in the MLS. If you're just tuning in for this game, you stumbled across the stream, you're an MLS fan, just kind of giving us a sense of where we're at pretty much halfway through the season. 34 total games. Most teams have played about 17. So tight race for goals, goal lead here. A couple players on 10, Roy Diaz on 11. Race for a league lead and assists is pretty much over unless something extraordinary happens.
Never count Reynoso out, dude. Never count Reynoso out.
Hey, key passes. If he doubles his key passes tonight, if we see 30 to 40 key passes from Reynoso, you'd hope Minnesota would win.
It's an interesting stat. I wonder what that actually means. Is it like the hockey assist? Okay, you got the pass to the guy who got the assist type thing?
That would be a lot of goals if Gil got 70
the assist
something?
to the assist. Yeah.
That's a lot of goals.
What do you think key passes is? I have a sense, but
probably
a shot, maybe.
Yeah.
Shot on goal, or maybe just a shot. So still impressive. He is 72. And that's 25 more than anyone else. Maybe they're just counting it differently for him. That would help. The ref for tonight looks a bit older, and I respect the refereeing gig. It's a lot of physical work, a lot of running up and down the pitch. So
correct.
He looks a bit older.
Yeah, as we know from firsthand experience, refereeing is all about maintaining the emotions of the game. So far, I think he's done a pretty good job. Yeah, giving some early cards and warnings to both teams. Keep it down. He wants a nice, clean match. That's what we're looking for. He wants everyone to be safe out there.
Keeping the emotions in check.
Yes.
That's big time. MLS season, I think our interest, we've come back to it. In the beginning, we were very excited. We watched a lot of the initial games. They've had a lot of games on Fox this year, which is cool for the MLS. And the league is definitively growing even in these weird times. That being said, there's also been a lot of players moving abroad.
Oh my.
Close chance here. All right, let's pay attention. We've got Houston on the break, 31st minute. Finds him outside the box. Ooh. Oh, my God. He just got double doinked on the head.
That's a double doink. Ooh, he almost kind of chipped just inside of the foot. Ooh, my goodness.
Yeah, commentate this replay here, I see.
Okay, so he has a little inside the foot. Nice placement over the keep Miller, and then it bounces right off the crossbar into Miller's face and out of bounds. Lucky there. That is lucky it didn't go in.
That hit him right in the face. Would love to be able to show you all the slow-mo replay of that chance there for Houston.
Right in the face, right in the nose. Well, MNUFC get a fortunate break there.
Fortunate bounce. Sometimes you got to take one off the face as the keeper, whether you mean to or not. You do what you do to get your body in front of the ball. That's for sure.
Definitely. Okay, Reynoso.
A lot of
Reynoso.
transfers. Yeah, Reynoso.
Reynoso repping the he's an Argentinian, repping number 10. Who else is Argentinian and reps number 10? Lionel Messi, who
Wow.
who has left Barcelona, will be leaving Barcelona. He actually has a 6 a.m. Announcement at Camp Nou tomorrow, which we will be covering. Actually, Max Jones specifically will be solo live streaming that Spanish recording from Messi. He'll be translating as it's live. So
that sounds like breaking news, doesn't it?
It does. So we want to thank Jones for being our the translator for Messi's departure, his goodbye message to Camp Nou and Barcelona fans tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Wake up, tune in for that. But, you know, many do say Reynoso is Messi, MLS Messi. We did try and trade Reynoso for Messi once we heard the news. MNUFC, the organization, tried to make that swap. He wasn't into it, but look, in 3 years after PSG, we'll try again.
Respect to MNUFC for trying, because you never get anywhere without trying.
Exactly.
Do you think MNUFC, like if they had submitted, like if they sent anything to Messi's lawyers or team, do you think they would acknowledge them? Do you think they would have they would respectfully decline or like even say anything? Or do you think they would just like not even acknowledge them?
They would take a look, but once they only counted one single comma, they would immediately chuck it in the trash because they don't do anything less than 2 commas for that contract. And we could not put that money up.
It's fair.
Not even $1 million.
Oh, God, no.
Come on
God.
now.
You know, you're thinking, no way. I don't even know what our salaries look like on the team. It's interesting, MLS salaries. I would make a good argument that MNUFC would be a hard sell for any ex-European star, any European superstar. Money, financially wise, and just, I guess, location wise, Miami/LA are pretty nice spots. Sunny, no snow. So
easier sell than Minnesota, that's for sure.
Wow.
A lot of late tackles. Shout out to Tamara, the NYCFC fan, which love to hear that. And they play in a 4-3-3. And James Sands, one of their players who played at New York Soccer Club, where I played growing up. Sands played there. Then he moved up to the first team. And now he plays on the U.S. national team and just played a role in them winning a Gold Cup. So a lot of New York Soccer Club pride and props to NYCFC player James Sands for winning the Gold Cup. And props to the U.S. team for winning the Gold Cup. That was exciting. Welcome to Charles from Brazil.
Heck
Brazil. Yeah. Fortaleza Ceará.
Nice.
Very nice. Love to hear that. Love to see the support from Brazil. Brazil with a big win in the Olympic finals on the men's side, winning that Gold Cup. Exciting for them. Gold medal.
And not win the Gold Cup.
Take that away from us.
Still on the most important tournament.
Charles, if you're still here, question for you would be whether you think the Olympic gold is more meaningful than the Copa America gold. Knowing Argentina had pulled that out earlier this summer, is it at all significant relative to the Olympic gold?
Big question.
First, I'm going to throw that out. Obviously, that question's highly pertinent to Minnesota people. Max Winter, do you have a take on the matter?
I do. I think the Copa America trophy, the medal, the gold, means a bit more. Is a bit more meaningful, a bit more substantial than an Olympic gold. Just for several reasons. You got the best of the best of South America playing for the Copa America tournament, whereas in the Olympics you've got mostly younger players and a couple veterans, but arguably not the best of the best the country has to offer. So kudos to Brazil winning the gold medal at the Olympics. That's very cool, very awesome. some hardware. But Copa America is definitely what the players want more.
Would agree with that. Definitely would agree with that. It's just like you got the senior team. You've got great rivalries. Argentina, Brazil playing each other. It feels so much more heated than, Brazil, Mexico. Still an exciting game. And yes, don't want to totally say get rid of Olympic soccer because it gives a lot of young players a chance, gives a lot of new countries a chance to go far. Japan, I thought they had a real shot at winning it all, and they couldn't get through the semifinals, but South Korea as well. So it's a nice tournament, but it's not as important. That's for Schoiten.
Yeah. Yep.
Minnesota still with a couple of chances recently, driving at Houston. If they could put away a second, hard to imagine Houston coming back from a 2-0 hole in this kind of game.
Yep. Could really go for another one. We need another one. It looks like tempo's gone down maybe a little bit. So could
I see. Quick question to you. Totally hear that tempo is down. What would pick it up, though, is if we put one of us on the field. What position do you think you could play if you were to hop in for the next 8 minutes or so?
Referee, I get the players hyped, cheering them on. Let's go, boys. Reynoso, pick it up. Vamos, let's go. Vamos a ganar. Let's get it. But that's my key position. What about you?
Well, just so you'd have to shave your head. I think most refs here are rocking the bald look. So if you're feeling comfortable with that,
there's something funny about that.
There's
a lot of bald refs.
High propensity for it's a lot of stress. A lot of stress that comes with the job. Eli, what position do you think you could hop in the field right now?
Yeah, I'm less of a liability on one of the wings, not as central, but I'd say center back. That's at least I could see more of the game. Hopefully, if they didn't know it was me, if they didn't treat me like I was some lower class player, maybe they'd give me some time on the ball. I could ping one out wide to my right back,
Nice.
Find a guy in the middle.
Nice.
No one-on-one defending, but just don't lose the ball, teammates.
You just have the Tab Ramos on the manager of Dynamo on the end line, on the sideline. Chip it over this kid.
Who is this kid? Seriously, who is this kid?
Who is this guy? I heard he plays in the Chicago Rec League.
Yeah, he's seen the vlogs. He's seen the Boot and Boots vlogs. That's how they know to come at me. Is Minnesota any good in the air? Is Minnesota good in the air? They've had a couple corners.
Yes, generally we are. We are missing, and geez, I wonder what happened to him. One of our, basically the Virgil van Dijk of our team. He is I'm blanking on his name. He's a New Zealand bloke. In the back, he's not playing tonight. I wonder if he's injured. But yeah, he's very tall, very aggressive in the air. But generally, we do have a decent amount of folks who are good in the air. So yes.
Are you up on the latest news? I think from this past week about Ike Opara.
I am not. Fill me in, please.
So Ike Opara, do you recognize the name Ike Opara?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Defender of the Year for Minnesota. Another chance. Ooh, that's a fizzle ball across. Ike Opara, Defender of the Year 2 years ago, the year before the pandemic, the last MLS season before the pandemic. Ike Opara, great player, Defender of the Year, athlete, even though he was already like 29, 30, but super athletic, very steady, rock at the back. And he took off the season during COVID in 2020. He decided to take off for personal reasons. And since then, he hasn't actually played a game with them, even though I think he was their highest paid player because he re-signed a contract right after that award-winning season. So he just re-signed a contract, hasn't played for them since then. And then as of like 2 or 3 days ago, when I was just doing some very light research for this game, I read the article that they released him. And there was just they couldn't come to an agreement. He didn't come out with a statement. I'm not clear whether he just said, look, I don't have it to play anymore. I'm not in the right mind space to play. Or the team, if you're not going to play, what's going to happen. But they just released him. So I don't think he's looking to play in the MLS at the moment. Otherwise, I believe he would have been playing for Minnesota unless there's some other stuff going on behind the scenes. But big news for Minnesota.
Yeah,
I think they technically saved some money, even though it's about more than that with such a big name player.
Yeah, definitely a big player. He was huge when I just started watching MNUFC and just started to become a fan. So, yeah, a lot of the diehard MNUFC fans are very sad to hear that. And they loved Akapara. So, yeah, sad news. But, hopefully he gets in the right mind space and enjoys what he does next, his next journey. So that's good. Also, quick, Michael Boxall was the defender who's not here. Why he's not here is he's actually playing with New Zealand in the Olympics. So I think he's got a 2-week quarantine after coming back from Japan.
Good call. Good research on the spot. Let's take a look. Speaking of great players like Iko Parr, we're in the 43rd minute of the first half. First half is almost over. If you have questions for us, if you just joined or you've been here for a while, you just got random questions about Footy Fellas, about the Minnesota-Houston game, we're down to talk about anything. So throw them in the chat and we'll discuss. But let's take a quick look at the MLS All-Star roster, who's going up against the Liga MX, the Mexican League's All-Star roster, pretty soon. All-Star game has to be pretty soon. I don't know the exact date. But let's take a look at these fun graphics that the MLS shared on their Instagram to reveal the roster. So we've got some big names right away from LA, because that rhymed. Actually, yeah, both from LA. Carlos Vela and Chicharito. I always say it wrong. Chicharito. Every time.
Chicharito.
Every time. Both up top for the MLS and both having pretty studly seasons, as well as Ray Diaz, who's leading the league in goals, like we said. Very exciting for Chicharito at his age to come back with this type of season when people doubted him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually saw some. He might be a little knocked up right now, a little injured. Hopefully, he gets to play in the All-Star game. But I saw some video of him getting in the gym, getting swole, coming back from some nick, I guess he got. So, there's
also a video of his family surprising him with the All-Star nomination at the LA Galaxy. What's it called?
Stadium headquarters?
Yeah, like campus, whatever.
Oh, nice.
So that was a nice moment for him. Good for him. There's a couple more forwards. Pretty big roster. You've got Nani, Diego Rossi, and Boo, we talked about on New England, who's got 10 goals. So a lot of big names. The MLS just has, some of these guys are very decorated legends. Some are newer, but some big names. Wow, more forwards. Didn't realize that. Buchanan is younger. He's a younger up-and-coming player for the Revolution. Another reason why they've been so successful. Ricardo Pepi as well for FC Dallas, another great young player. And I don't know this player for Sporting Kansas City. Saloy. Might be mispronouncing that, but props to all of them. Midfield, we've got Cade Cowell, who you were talking about. Well, technically, if another forward. That's ridiculous. They have like 12 forwards. Cade Cowell, though, young star on the Earthquakes.
Cade Cowell is man is built. If you haven't seen Cade Cowell, youngster, very young. Is he 17 still?
Yeah, maybe 18 at this point.
Maybe 18. Dude looks like he's like 20, at least young 20s, and he plays like it. He's very athletic. He'll be exciting to see out there. So will, of course, Carlos Gil and Zellarian,
I think.
Who's been absolutely dominant with the crew.
A couple other players, other midfielders. Not as familiar with some of these guys. Atuesta on the LAFC I've heard of. You get a lot of teams with potent attacks, which makes sense because you're going forward until you get to the defenders. But it's just interesting. Roldan, Reynoso, Zimmerman, Nuhu, Roldan again. Reynoso, James Sands, U.S. team. Matt Turner in goal from the U.S. team, legend.
Miles Robinson also from that team. Just great all around. Pedro Gallese and goal for Orlando. But we'll bring it back to the game because that's halftime.
MNUFC winning 1-0.
Yeah, let's hit the quick halftime transition because it's been a great game so far. MNUFC, decent amount of attacking both ways. They got an early goal off of a fumbled ball from the keeper, but they're up 1-0 at halftime. So they've looked the stronger side for sure, and they deserve it to this point. That is our very official, very legit halftime transition. And we're the Footy Fellas. If you just joined, we got 7 folks chilling with us, which is awesome. We're watching the MNUFC Houston game. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel more importantly, because we're going to have other games coming up, maybe even of your team, whatever team you follow. Live stream, watch along, hang out, talk about the game, and preview the game, wrap it up, all that good stuff. So subscribe to the channel. If you are here, would really appreciate it. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I think for thoughts on the first half, MNUFC started off on the front foot for the first 5-10 minutes, and then sort of took their foot off the gas. And Houston Dynamo had some chances, took some shots that happened off the crossbar, but that was a little bit later in the half. A little bit back and forth in the middle. Houston was getting a little frustrated when MNUFC would possess on their end. Got a couple of yellow cards right away for a few players. But Houston finished the half strong, which does not bode well for MNUFC, barely keeping the lead with 1-0. So MNUFC will need to come out hot in the second half.
I think it's going to be tough to overcome a potent or effortful Minnesota team. I think if the Loons press and try to make this game, push them out of contention, that is Houston, the first 15, that crowd, the atmosphere in that stadium, as well as just a 2-goal cushion could really cement it and have Houston already wishing to be back home, as this road trip looks terrifying up in Minnesota right now.
They've actually never won it. They've never won a game in Minnesota. I don't know how many times they've played. Minnesota only came to the league, 2016, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 5 years ago, I think. Yep.
2016 or so. But Houston has never won a game. It's probably about 9 or 10 games they've played. Well, in Minnesota. Maybe it's only 5 or 6 games then if they're playing one time there each year. But they've never won any of those games. So
wow.
Well, history not repeating itself.
We're not going to get that tonight.
Yeah.
Also, shout out. Looks like the U of M, that's University of Minnesota, women's soccer squad is here tonight. We got the new coach doing a little interview here. That's fun. Got the whole squad here, showing up, showing out, repping the maroon and gold colors, University of Minnesota. So that's fun to see them there.
Erin Chastain, do we think she's related to Brandy Chastain, the former U.S. women's national team player?
Possibly.
Maybe. Feels like they could be. Both in soccer. Unique last name, perhaps. We'll have to check that out. And this is actually where we're going to leave you, our valued friends, all 3 of you. Thank you for being here. If you just joined, subscribe to the channel, because why not? And we'll be back with other live streams. But for now, Minnesota up 1-0 at half. We'll see if they can carry it through and enjoy watching the rest of the game and thinking of us. Also watching the rest of the game, just not here.